Hello friends, I've got a couple examples here of what I'm looking at. This is my obsessive area right now, is the medulla oblongata. It is my theory, my hypothesis, that it is within the medulla oblongata is the selector, what I call, my terms, the selector mechanism. It's an involuntary, autonomic response. Right in here, deep in the brain stem, way down there, in the most primitive parts of the brain, that allows for the selection of ranges of time and space. Very sophisticated action for a very primitive, well, I think it's wrong. It's very wrong for me to say this is a primitive part of the brain. There's nothing primitive about it. Very advanced part of the brain. And that's my theory on that. Now, once the selector mechanism selects a range of time and space, that is then sent into the hippocampus, into the dentate gyrus, which what I call the attractor mechanisms. Pulling that in and then going through a process of pattern recognition and memory, what I call memory comparison, which can be without technically termed now, what they're calling it, which is pattern completion. Here's an example here. I haven't watched this in a few days, but this is the range of time and space here. Pretty gruesome. I did not go into the gruesome end of it, but I'm looking for the pattern. Give me the pattern. Boom, right there. There's people. The main pattern is people. I'm going to check now and see if there's anything in my nervous system here that could give me any additional above the threshold of my awareness assistance. There's really not. The main pattern is people. The main focus is people. Pattern completions people and water. That's a pattern completion. Okay. appropriately labeled as a pattern completion. Pretty gruesome scene. Alright, here's another one. Back this up. This one has very, very cool pattern completion elements to it. And where is that happening? It's happening right in here, in the dentate gyrus and up into the CA3 area. The mossy fibers, the granule cells. Find the CA3. Here it is, right here. This is where these impulses are pulled through the mossy fibers into the dentate gyrus and into what is considered the corneomonas 3 area, this region right here, that processes memory and also pattern recognitions, where it's recognizing inputs and how they match existing memories. They're not always correct. They're not always correct, but in this deep part of the brain, it is raw perception, not the higher end level. It's a deep level. All right, here, let's look at this. This is a good example of the pattern here. Okay, so I did some breathing exercises here, got up, I had a pattern, was identified in my mind within a few seconds of breathing, and I got up, hit the camera. The patterns. Right, okay. Right here is the pattern. What happens next is pattern completion. This is a really good example. This is the pattern completion right there. Rocket ship. So here it is, even with the separated top. This has more of a slope, but I was moving, I was getting, there was complete pattern completion taking place here. That was narrowing this down as it was processing through via the CA3 area of my brain, comparing it to memories, and I locked into a rocket ship. This is all pattern completion stuff here. And the key is, here's the key, is that the pattern here, this is actual quote, what can be considered remote viewing. This is the real stuff here. The remote viewing ends right here. The remote viewing stopped. Now I'm not remote viewing anymore. I'm not going through a process of pattern separation. If the patterns remain separate, I would not be making this claim right now. That's the key. This is where the remote viewing stopped, or quote-unquote remote viewing. See, no remote viewing is taking place here. The pattern has now been in my brain. The circuit is closed. And I'm letting it close too. I'm letting it close. Because I want a good example. And that is a good example. The circuit was completed in my brain through these, through these here, in here. The circuit completed. Right through things that look just like these. So that's just some examples right there. So that's that. But this is my area right here, the medulla oblongata, where I theorize the selector mechanism is in there, in the autonomic system. Autonomic. All right, hope you find this interesting. Many more to come.